Hello, good morning. I'm happy to see you all again and welcome to third year Diploma in Mechanical Engineering Division 1 students. In this semester, I will be happy to teach you Production Technology 3. One section in this subject will be covered by me and Mr. D.M. Prajapati in Division 2. So today we will start with our introductory lecture, and this is a trial lecture, as we know, for us as well as for you. And we are going to have introductory learning experience and try to understand what are the problems that you are facing, and we will try to improve upon to give you best of the available resources. Okay, I hope all are active and join together for this session. So this chapter is about continuation of your study that you have made in Production Technology 2. In Production Technology 2, you all have studied lathe machine. Lathe machine is a machine that is used for generating circular geometries using material removal processes. So various processes or operations that can be performed on lathe machine are very well known to you, but due to this lockdown, COVID, free time, non-working time, I think you would have forgot some of the operations and and I would like to recall various things in a short brief few minutes of discussion, just trying to brush your minds that you have learned and you have already performed jobs on lathe, that is manufactured or prepared jobs on lathe machine throughout the last semester. So I will not take lot of time. I'll just try to brush up the things and then we will straight away go to the main chapter, and the chapter is automatic turning machines. Lathe is what you should talk, but in general in industry and since the development of this machine, it is called as automats, and therefore this chapter, that is, I have used the name automat turning machines. Okay, so it is an extension of what we have studied earlier, and same thing is going to be discussed throughout, right? So what is the objective of learning this chapter? This is to understand the limitations of center lathe for mass production. Second, utilize capstan and turret lathes for different parts, that is to manufacture different parts. Understand different types of automatic lathes and their applications. This is the basic objective behind putting this chapter in your syllabus. So what you will be able to do after learning this chapter, that is what are the expected outcomes, that is called course outcomes, that you should be able to make decision for selection of particular type of machine for a particular part to be manufactured. Second, you should be able to operate and mount different tools on capstan or turret lathe. Capstan and turret lathe. Next is you should be able to decide tool replacement from the part quality. That is, if some features, some surface roughness, some tool marks are observed, or the dimensions that you are getting are not accurate enough and repetitive, then you should make this decision of replacing or regrinding the tools. And lastly, you should be able to read and prepare the layout of automatic lathe for a given part. It is automatic or semi-automatic. You should be able to prepare or read the layout for a given part. Right? I hope the speed is okay and I'm not going too fast, too slow. Okay. So what is a lathe machine? Lathe is a machine that removes or which removes the metal from a piece of work with the required work to the required shape and size. Here, this definition is given by Henry Maudslay. It's a simple definition. What is lathe? It is a revolving, rotating, or circular shape generating machine. By the interface of tool and workpiece, it removes the material to generate the required geometry. Different types of lathe since the inception of lathe are engine lathe, bench lathe, tracer lathe. Okay, the engine lathe is what you have used. It is also called as center lathe and so on. Bench lathe is a very small version of lathe machine, generally used for high precision jobs and very small size jobs to be produced. And tracer lathe is also called as copying lathe. That is, it copies the shape that is put in the template, and the feed of your cross slide as well as longitudinal slide is in accordance with the shape of the component that is to be copied and generated, both. Okay, again, next set of continuation of lathe machine is automatic lathe, turret lathe and capstan lathe, and lastly computer control lathe, where we call this machine as CNC machines. So this section of your syllabus consists of three chapters or three units. First unit is capstan and turret lathe. Second unit is computer numeric controlled machines. It has two parts. One is basic construction, working and features controls of computer numeric controlled machines, and second is part programming, that is writing the CNC operational software programs, or that is called as part program, to manufacture a particular required job. And third chapter or third unit is testing of machine tools. So I will be covering this section throughout the semester. As far as situations are not good, we will continue our things on this mode, that is Microsoft Team, with online teaching and learning modules. As and when the things go normal, you will be coming to college, we can do the practical things and other things. Okay. Okay. So next is limitations, or we like try to understand what is the need or requirement for developing this automate or semi-automate machines. So whenever we want to get a new thing, we try to either find out the limitations, or in real sense the existing things are not able to serve us to the required configuration. Okay, so limitations of center lathe was one of the reason, or these are some of the reasons that prevailed or that motivated the researchers or manufacturers to to develop a system or develop a machine wherein you get some of the operations, some of the time reduction mechanisms that are built in the machines to speed up the manufacturing process. Basically, the aim of development or shifting from center lathe, manual center lathe to semi-automatic or automatic or CNC everywhere, the fundamental reason is to increase the speed, to increase the productivity. The second reason, very broadly, if you see, the development of industrial revolution and newer products like aerospace and other engines, the requirements set by designers of the product became more and more stringent in the form of surface finish, surface geometry, and the material that is being used. Okay, so we'll quickly go through different limitations that you can understand. If you don't understand, you can always put a question at the end, or in your chat box you can type the question later at the end of the, just 10 minutes before the end of the lecture. I will try to address all your questions. Okay, the setting time for job in terms of holding the job is very large. Okay, you all know this. When you try to hold the job in check, you at least put your 5 to 10 minutes of time to place the job, to center the job, to align the job and tool and so on. Only one tool can be used. This is another disadvantage, that only one tool at a time can be used, and if we need to use another tool, we have to stop the machine, change the tool again. This takes alignment, centering and other issues, and so it is also a time consuming operation. Okay, so next is this idle time involved in setting and movement of tools between cuts is large. So this is what we discussed. Say if we try to remove or change the tool, still it is going to take lot of time. Precise movement of tool to exact location is difficult. It is not exactly difficult, but it depends on operator skill. If operator is having very good skills, then the things are very good. If the skill of operator are changing, varying with the time, then the job also will have variation with the time. And in the end, one most important thing is skilled operator is required to get high accuracy and precision jobs. This is what is always required. So these are some of the limitations, not all. These are some of the limitations. And then we see what are the areas of improvement. We convert these limitations to opportunities, right? We have converted many limitations or many challenges to opportunities. That is area of improvement. So work holding methods. We should improve upon work holding methods, that is chuck, wherein we can use some mechanism, some specific mechanism which be very easy to load the job and center the job and align the job. Secondly, we are looking for multiple tool activity. That is, from single tool, if we are able to build a system wherein we can mount more than 5, 6, 7 tools, not only 1 to 2 or 3, but more than 6 to 14 tools, then it will be very much quick and easy to operate different tools, because only changing the location of tool holding device will be required, because tool will be mounted, it will be aligned, it will be centered with the job, and it will be in the right location. The only thing that we need to do when the job is being prepared is that bring that tool in contact with the job and use the required feed, either cross feed or longitudinal feed. Okay. Third is automatic feeding of tools. Now we have seen auto feed mechanism for longitudinal and cross slides when you have done your thread turning or thread cutting operation, right? Similarly, auto feed mechanism, how to actuate or disengage auto feed mechanism, that is also you have done, I hope, at least demonstrated, right? Now next step of action of improvement is that if we can mount multiple tools, then there should be some mechanism that is capable of moving these tools in right place at right time. That is very important. We are not going to stop the machine in between, just moving the right tool in right place at right time. That is automatic feeding of tools. Third thing, next thing is automatic stopping of tools at precise location. Okay, what we said is moving the tool from its position to the right position of cutting. Then if we want to cut certain length, then the tool should move for cutting direction, in cutting direction, and it should stop also at a required place. So automatic stop of tool at precise location, that is exact location, it is also important. So we should develop a mechanism wherein this thing is also addressed. Next is automatic control of proper sequence of operations. Suppose we are turning a job and we have two tools. One tool is rough turning, another tool is smooth turning. This operation you have done. So I am taking a very simple example. One is rough turning, another is smooth turning. So we have, say this is our job that you want to cut or you want to turn, and this is the tool. Okay, I don't know where to mount the tool. So this is one tool and this is your second tool. Okay, this is for smooth and this is for rough, right? So this tool is going to cut the job in some roughness, or it will develop some rough diameter. So new diameter is developed and this new diameter is having such roughness. Now when the smooth diameter is to be cut, what we do is we change the depth of cut. So we have changed the depth of cut and this smooth diameter is generated. Again we have done it on either side, so we get a very smooth surface. So these two tools are to be used. In manual thing, what we do is we do rough turning, then we change the feed, and using same tool or using different tool, we go for smooth turning. But in this machine if we have a capability, if we have a system wherein these two tools will be changed by some mechanism, and we don't have to stop even the rotation of chuck, then it will be very easy. There is no loss of time. So this is how we are doing. If I say I want to have a drill in between, then the third tool comes into picture, and this drilling operation is to be done. So this drilling operation is also required to be done, and therefore we need some place, some location of this drill beat also. So this drill goes into this direction. Definitely we should set the drill on some part that is called as tailstock, but we will see what is the change in our semi-automatic machine that is made to achieve these elements, right? So again we are coming back to lathe. What are different operations? Quickly I will try to get some inputs from you. What are different operations? What is this operation? Turning operation. This is stepper turning, this is form turning or the shape curving, and here this is a forming tool. Okay, this is chamfer, cutoff or collar cutting, thread cutting, knurling, drilling, boring. So these are different operations that you already know. So I've just revised it quickly. Turning, this operation is facing, this operation is stepper turning, this is form turning, this is forming, this is chamfering, and second is this one is collar or cut off, what we call. Thereafter we have thread cutting operation, boring operation, drilling operation, and knurling operation. Okay, so these many operations are there. Some of the additional operations may be there, but these are the basic operations that we perform. Now how do we hold the job? Self-centering 3-jaw chuck, eccentric 4-jaw chuck. In addition to these two holding devices that you have studied, we will have a look for this another type of holding device. One is called as collet. Collet, you may, if you have seen the drilling chuck, then it is a controlled collet. Collet chuck, that is, it is also a self-centering chuck. It has some specific features, components that make it quick fixing chuck. Okay, you don't have to rotate anything, you don't have to make any specific motions, just insert and plug in, press it, so it will be mounted and job will be held very stiffly. Okay, sturdily. Next is dog clamp mechanism. This is directly used on the faceplate. Okay, so now as we have just discussed for three tools, that is three operations: rough turning, smooth turning, and drilling. So what is this sequencing? Say our turret lathe has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces and 6 tools are mounted. So tool number 1, tool number 2, tool number 3, 4, 5 and 6, that is cutoff. So we are starting with tool number 1, that when job is out, it is required to set a particular limit of length, and that is done by the tool number 1, which is called as stop connect or your turret will have some mechanism, some small element that will stop the rod from having more length. Second is turning operation. Third is forming operation. Fourth is your drilling, or fourth is third operation again has a combination. There is a forming tool and there is a spot face tool. That is just for having giving a support as well as making a spot face center, which can be used for next operation of drilling. Fourth is chamfer tool, where you are putting a chamfer at the end of the job. And next is last one is cut off operation. So this becomes your finished part now. Okay, so such small parts, if we try to machine it using conventional lathe, we would be able to prepare 2, 3, 4 number of parts per half an hour or 1 hour, or it may take still longer. In this semi-automatic machine, if we use these mechanisms, our job is very easy. Our job becomes very easy and we get the output in large numbers. Okay, so this is a turret, simple turret machines. I'll just try to give some photographic images to show different components, of turret length. So what are the additional features? This is small additional feature that we have put, that is called hexagonal turret. This is the ram, is a supporting base element on which this turret is mounted. Okay, turret stops means what is the length of travel of this turret, maximum and minimum, that we can set using this stop element. Okay, thereafter we have a rack and pinion mechanism, similar to rack and pinion mechanism, that for forward and reverse movement of the turret. Second important change that we have in this machine is we have a rod feed mechanism. That is the job that you use to mount from front end of into the 3-jaw chuck or 4-jaw chuck is replaced by inserting a rod from other end, and this rod keeps on continuously fed into the collet, and it gets, or machine allows only a limited length of job to come out, which is to be machined. Okay, we will see this mechanism in detail later on. So there are two main or basic important features changes that are made. One is rod feed mechanism, another is tool feed and tool element. Now can you find that you are missing something over here? What was over here in your conventional lathe? We had tool post. So in capstan machine and turret, what we have done is we have replaced this tool post by a indexable turret, which is holding the tool and is used for machining. So all the tools that are required to be used are mounted on this hexagonal turret. One. Second, our normal conventional tool post is also there. Sorry, this is not tool post, this is tailstock, right? So our conventional tool post is there. We can mount 4 tools again over here. So this is 6, this is 4. So total we have 10 tools that can be mounted, right? In modern capstan machines, there are two such tool posts on either side, one on this side, another on other side. Okay, so we'll see that picture also. Now again we'll come back to limitations. What is the need that is turning, the speed of production is very low or low, that is one or few parts per hour. For automate or tracer lathe or turret lathe, it is low to medium, that is few parts per hour, or medium if you go 50 to 100 parts per hour. So what we have done is work holding methods improvement, multiple tool availability, automatic feed for tools, automatic stop for tools, automatic control for proper sequence, to convert our conventional lathe to a semi-automatic machine, which is either capstan lathe or a turret lathe. So capstan lathe, just this is the plan and elevation of the machine. This is called as turret, and the part on which this turret is mounted is called as ram. This is the tool post that we had. This is the another end tool post that we can add up. So if we say these are the 6 faces, and on each face one tool is mounted, then 6 tools can be mounted on this hexagonal turret and 4 tools on this tool post, 4 tools on tool post which is mounted on the other side. Now the problem with this machine, or after mounting these 14 tools, is that we should be able to switch over from one tool to another tool, and this switching operation is done by a mechanism called as indexing mechanism, not a rotating mechanism. The difference between rotational mechanism and indexing mechanism is that in rotation, you have seen the rotational motion of chuck holding the job. When you stop the chuck or stop the power, still the rotation keeps on going. There is no control. It stops slowly due to friction. But when we talk of indexing, we need a specific degree of movement out of a complete rotation, and that should be accurate. Specific degree of movement. Say we want to have a rotation of 45 degrees only. We don't want, sorry, we want to have a rotation of 45 degree only. We don't want 46, we don't want 43, 44 or 45.5 also. In such case, we need to use jigs and fixtures that you have learned, and such mechanisms are to be developed so that you get accurate rotational motion, and this getting the accurate rotational motion with the desired degree of control and accuracy is called as indexing. Okay, so the turret is indexable, this tool post is also indexable, and this is also indexable if need be. Okay, so this generally don't have indexing, but turret has indexing. So here on these two jobs, or on these two tool posts, generally cut-off and knurling tools are mounted, and on the turret, drill, turning, facing and other tools are mounted. Turning tools are mounted. Okay, we'll see more details when we go into the practical sense and have some small videos that can be shared with you so that you get a better idea. Okay, this is the original developed or old type of old capstan machine, which shows you that there are only 1, 2 and 3 changes, major changes that are visible compared to our conventional lathe. One is, you see the headstock is having a rod feeding mechanism, rod feed element, and the chuck has changed to collet chuck. Second is this hexagonal turret with the capacity of mounting different jobs. These are the two tool stalks that you can tool posts that you can see, and this is the ram. This is the complete mechanism on which your turret can move to and fro for the required machining operation or for performing required machining operation. Modern capstan lathes are having such small and compact visibility or compact elements. This is the rod feeding, gravitational rod feeding system that we will discuss when we discuss different rod feeding mechanisms. You can see turret, you can see ram. This is something additional that they have used. This is very clear picture where you can understand 6 tools on turret, one here, one here, so 8 tools minimum. And if you mount more than one tools, 4 tools on either side, then it becomes 8 plus 6, 14 tools that can be mounted. Now which tool is to be operated when, that is decided by this mechanism that is mounted on the ram, that is stop mechanism for indexing. Now we'll go to next, that is called as turret length. Simply what you can see, I'll go to previous slide. This is a smaller machine, compact machine. Turret is a larger machine. It also has hexagonal turret, it also has carriage, it also has tool post, and same thing. Okay, so these many things are same. The thing, major difference between turret and the capstan lathe is, it is for capstan is for small size, small components, whereas turret lathe can be used for large components, and mainly it is used for large size components. Automation is same. Okay, you can see this is a turret machine modified from the existing lathe. This is the modern day turret machine which has two motors. This is the separate drive. It has a separate drive for tool movement, and it has a separate drive for work rotation, right? So simply when you call a turret and capstan, the difference is one is a compact machine, another is a large machine. Similarly, on capstan, this job size is also small. Turret lathe job size is larger. Okay, so today we will stop here, and this comes to, and I'm open for your questions, so we can discuss some questions. So this is a capstan lathe, turret lathe that is being demonstrated, and what you can see is this is the auto feed topic that we have studied today. Thank you.